It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains.
My name is Jilchristina Vest. I was born and raised in Chicago in 1966, year of the Panthers. And I'm now an Oaklander, living in West Oakland. And I'm the founder and curator of the West Oakland Mural Project and the mastermind behind the Women of the Black Panther Party Mural and the space maker for the museum dedicated to the Black Panther Party.
Can you tell me about the women who are on the mural?
Yes, the women are real life women, and they're based on beautiful black and white photographs by Stephen Shames, who gave me permission and access to his portfolio at the beginning of this process. And there's 4 different women depicted, one woman who's holding her daughter. So 5 human beings, four of them who are Panthers. And they were chosen for specific reasons based on the way that they may be able to convey the community survival programs from the photograph. One of them holding the grocery bag looks like somebody walking around the lake today in Oakland versus somebody who was photographed in 1967. There's the depiction of motherhood that Erica requested. But the key thing for me in the images that were chosen to be depicted on the mural is all of the women are brown-skinned women. None of the women are light-skinned women. Me as a light-skinned woman, and Rachel, the lead mural, is light-skinned. Erica, the mentor, is light-skinned. Lisbeth, the producer for the museum, is light-skinned. And then the imagery that we often see of Panther women. Kathleen Cleaver is one of the most recognized faces when it comes to Black Panther women. But the majority of the Panther women did not look like Kathleen. And the majority of the Panther women weren't photographed. Or they were photographed, but their photographs weren't out in the mainstream. So for me, it was very important when it came to the visibility of Black women. Light-skinned women are far more visible than dark-skinned women. And what was important to me was to honor the unseen women of the Black Panther Party, the unrecognized women of the Black Panther Party, the invisible women of the Black Panther Party. And that was these photographs that are depicted by Stephen Shames. And so some people notice it. If I like say, can you tell me what you see in common with all these women? And it's interesting to see the reaction of brown-skinned women when they know that that was an intentional honor to them. And it was, I went through a couple of different artists in the beginning, male artists, that I thought in the beginning that it was important for a Black man to be the lead artist on this mural because Black men benefit from and participate in the invisibility and oppression of Black women. Whether it's intentional or encouraged based on our society doesn't matter. It's just a fact. And so I wanted a Black man to say, I recognize that, I recognize my privilege and my role in that, and I want to participate in unpacking it. I want to participate in the visibility of Black women. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. 4, 5, 6 different brothers were fired off of the gig because there was an inability to participate on this level, which was fascinating to me. But those.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? What do I mean by that? Details?
What is the inability to participate on this level?
There was a couple of different things. There was an inability for these brothers to respect me as the boss. And things like not showing up when you said you were going to show up, and when I called you out on it, becoming very disrespectful in return. And I'm 55, almost 56 years old, and knowing when I'm looking at this brother who's probably 20 years my junior, knowing for a fact there is no way you would be speaking to a white woman like this. There is no way you would be speaking to a white man like this. If I was your boss and I was white, you would have been here on time. If you were late, you would be apologizing profusely. And instead, you're being disrespectful and demeaning, acting as if I'm wrong and demanding some type of level of excellence from you. And that happened more than once, where I was, by the time I fired the last brother, it was one sentence in a text message that he said to me, and I said, don't ever come back to this house again. You're fired. Oh, for real, you just gonna do that? I said, this text message thread no longer exists. Do not ever speak to me again. Because he was so incredibly disrespectful. He was the one who wasn't showing up. He was the one that was coming at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and leaving at 4. But when I called him on it, I was the problem. And, the other part of it was specifically back to making sure that the photographs we chose and their representation on the wall was of dark-skinned women. The 2 other artists weren't able to do that either. One of the first renderings that came, and it's been in the contract from the beginning, and it's been a part of the conversation from day one. These will be brown-skinned, chocolate-skinned women who are unapologetically and unmistakably black, period, and a discussion. And I had to say things. There's no abstract versions of blackness, meaning I'm not going to have any blue people or purple people. I don't know if you've noticed that. When you're trying to depict a dark-skinned woman, suddenly she's purple because that's the only way to make her beautiful, really? So I had to be very clear in my contracts with these people from day one. And there's also no interpretations of blackness. So this isn't your interpretation of black women. There's a photograph. I want you to paint this woman on this wall. Her nose, her lips, her hair, her skin color. Not your interpretation of what you see. And the first rendering that came through from the first artist, the women were orange. They had been put makeup on. The black man artist had put lipstick on them, had changed their hair to make it look like they'd just woken up, like their hair was all jacked up. These sisters' afros are on point. I am telling you, there is not a hair out of place. Like we know, they were picking it 24 hours a day. And I looked at this image, I was like, what is this? This is not the photographs that I sent you. Why are they light skinned? Because they were like this peach color, right? Well, they're not light skinned, they're more orange. Black women aren't orange. What are you doing? Why do they have makeup on? Where are their lips? Where are their noses? This is a brother looking at photographs of actual black women, and what he rendered was fascinating. It was blew my mind. And it took like 4 or 5 different attempts to actually get the women's skin color to be brown. So his indoctrination of what a dark-skinned black woman is, he's an artist and he couldn't even do it. It took him so many times. He got tapped out mainly because this project was just too big for him. He didn't have the skill set. He didn't have the experience. He didn't have the talent to do it. And then the second brother that was hired was misogynistic, homophobic pig. He refused to listen to anything I said. And as a reminder, this is my house, this is my idea, and I'm paying you to paint what I want you to paint. And he refused. Like, for example, all the names are going to go on the wall. We've got about 200 now. Today, 2022, there's a little over 300 on there, and we'll be adding some more at the block party. So I'm asking for renderings and drafts of what the mural is going to be looking like. And I'm like, well, where are the names going to be? Oh, I'm not going to put all the names on there. I was like, it's in the contract. Of course you're putting all the names on there. That's the whole point of the mural. It's the Say Name mural. You're putting all the names on there. No, that would look terrible. I mean, you don't know anything about murals. This is all I do. And it would look terrible. It would look like chicken scratch. There's no way I'm putting all the names on there. And I was like, it's not a question. I'm not asking you. It's a directive. And then There was something else he was refusing to do, something else he was demanding that he was going to include, even though I was refusing it. Oh, he had a big, huge picture of Huey Newton at the top of the mural. And I was like, why is Huey Newton's face on my mural? Well, he is the leader of the Black Panther Party, and he was killed across the street, and you have to honor him. No, I don't. I really, really don't have to honor him. That's not what this mural is about. There are no men on this mural. And again, arguing. It was really fascinating. And I couldn't believe it. And the things that he was saying and whatever, it was fat. And I actually stepped back at this point and I let the elders take care of it. And they terminated him because he was equally as disrespectful to Panther women as they were trying to talk to him about, what do you mean you're not putting the names on the mural? It was really fascinating why he thought it was his decision. It was bizarre. And sadly, he ended up taking $6,000 from the project, stole $6,000. He was given a $6,000 deposit, and even though he was terminated within 10 days, he took the money. So that's sad. And from there is when we got the sister, Rachel Wolf Goldsmith, who was on the project from day one. She was on the first team. That lead got fired. She was on the second team. That lead got fired. And I was just like, I need for you to be the lead on this. This is the ancestors doing this. It's not me. You need to be the lead. And she was nervous and had trepidation because she didn't want to ruffle any feathers in this community of muralists and upset the egos of these brothers, whatever. And somebody said to her, but they were just going to have you painted anyway. You're the only person talented enough. Do what she's asking them to do. They would have had you paint those women and they would have put their name at the bottom of that mural. So you need to be the lead on this. And then she said yes. And you can see the result. She's extremely talented. She's very, very skilled with the can of spray paint, that's for sure.